Hello, family and friends. Welcome to Just Tanya Renee. I am so glad to be back. It has been like 3 months since my site has been under construction, but I really wanted to make sure. I want to make sure anything that I do, any videos that I make, is really authentic and 100%. So I'm glad to be back. I think you're going to be really excited about some of the changes that I've made. I'm going to be doing a lot more live interactions just to get you engaged. I've got my coffee and connections moment you'll be hearing more about. And I'm also going to be interviewing guests on Just Tanya Renee. So more to come about that. Some really great, interesting people that I will be interviewing and a potential podcast coming your way as well. All right, let's get down to what I'm talking about today. The 3 P's of embracing singleness. And let me say this really are steps that I had to take myself. Been divorced now going on 2 years. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best at being single. And I've always, I kid you not, from the beginning of time, really since adulthood, I've always considered myself a relationship person. I've always felt, Lord, you just made me to be a helpmate. Yes, I believe in being whole, but there's something about being connected, with that person that I have always felt, I'm just drawn to be in a relationship, which is probably, has probably gotten me in trouble because I tend to jump at relationships. So this really ministered to me, and I'm sharing it with you because I, as I've gotten older and more mature, as I've made mistakes, these are some things that I really had to embrace during my singleness. And I just want to keep this real today. It's the 3 P's of embracing singleness. 3 P's. Number 1, and guys, number 1 was tough for me, believe it or not. Pray and trust God. Why would that be so difficult? Because I pray all the time. I feel like I'm a woman of faith, of great faith. I have trusted God in so many areas of my life. I've stepped out on careers, with nothing to step into something else. I have trusted God all my life, but when it comes to relationships, I tend to separate. I really look back over my life and I tended to separate God from that. And maybe it's because I think we live in a society where we want things when we want it. Also, I'm going to be real when it comes to being single. Maybe you're divorced, what have you, but your sexual desires do not leave you. And so to now be a Christian, you're living this Christian life and you're single and you're having to deal with getting out there dating and dealing with sex. And sometimes as Christians, do we really want to have that conversation with God about sexual desires and things like that? And what's so amazing is that we tend to, I'm just keeping it real. We tend to separate like, Lord, I'm just going to do me, I'll trust you here, but you don't want to get involved in this. So we get to that point of just doing us, I'm just going to do me, I'm just going to go over here and just date and do me and do it my way, and I'll trust you in this area, but you don't want to really be involved in this. And so we get out there, guys, and we do it our way, and we're just doing us, and we deal with heartache. We deal with pain, because at the end of the day, a lot of us really do want that godly relationship. Yes, men, I'm even talking to you. At the end of the day, you really do want that godly, that woman for you, that you desire, that you need. But we can't continue to separate God from that. If we want a godly mate, don't you think we need to have God involved in this? And I had to check myself. I mean, quite frankly, I had to sit up there and check myself. I feel like God sometimes is saying, Tanya, how's it going for you? How's your love life going? And I have a record of failed relationships. So evidently it's not going too well. So number 1 is really pray and trust God. If you want a godly mate, then we should have God involved in this. And just to be honest, guys, we have to be real with ourselves because we do have shortcomings. We do fall short. But anytime we step out there and we fall to sin, it just takes us some steps back from where we need to be in our life. Let's just be real. It does. It takes us further from our purpose. It just causes so many distractions. And quite frankly, we do end up paying a price. That's just it is what it is. And that's what I really want to tell younger people that are even out there. Don't do it the way that some of us have done it, because we end up coming back to truly understanding, if you really want this godly relationship, you really do have to pray, and you really do have to be patient and wait on God's timing, because those individuals that waited on God's timing are in really wonderful, godly, fulfilling relationships, and God knows what we want. He knows what we need. He also knows what we want and what we desire. And so, God, we have to be able to trust and say, you know what, God, you know what I want. You know what I desire, and you know what I need. And we have to be able to trust that. So that's number one. Number two, pursue your purpose and passion. When we finally are blessed with that godly relationship, and people that are married can tell you, your spouse becomes your priority, your family. When you're single, we have more time to really have that time with God and really pursue and put so much focus on our purpose and our passion. I mean, this is the time for us to do that. And so, God has given us all gifts, and we're put here on earth to fulfill his purpose. And so throughout life, you'll see, if you look over your life, you go through things, and it's amazing to me how God will end up putting you back on your path to your purpose. I started in healthcare in corporate America, and had to go through some things, and boom, I finally feel like being in education and being an administrator, I am truly living out, the purpose, and that is to really encourage and educate, children. I absolutely love what I do, but I'm also in the process of pursuing my passion. What I'm doing right now, I really love sharing with you, being real, because I really love to encourage people and motivate people, and you want people to be happy. And if my mistakes and me communicating things that I've done, will help you, if communicating to you how I've been able to make it through certain things is going to help you, that's something that I'm really passionate about. And also, while we're pursuing our purpose and our passion, a lot of times that's when God may send you that special person, because now you're kind of centering and you're surrounded with like-minded people. But even if you don't get blessed with that person, that godly person or that godly mate, you're still becoming a better version of yourself. As I pursue my purpose and my passion, I feel like I'm becoming a better Tanya. And that's what life is all about. So number two, pursue your purpose, pursue your passion. That's what we're here for. And then that brings me to my final thing, and that's number three, and that's prepare. You can't go into relationships not whole. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. I believe those are 4 areas that we have to work on in order to be complete and to be that godly mate for who God has for us. Emotionally, going through a toxic divorce, I had to make sure that I didn't have that emotional tie, those emotional issues, and carry that into another relationship. Am I able to be 100% vulnerable and 100% being able to give myself to someone else? So you have to make sure that you are truly emotionally healed and that you're emotionally ready for a relationship. There's no bitterness. There's no anger. You are truly ready to be vulnerable and loving to that person. And then, of course, physically, you have to make sure that you are healthy. I'm 50. I want more years to come, but more than likely I have lived, half my life. And so I want to make sure that when God blesses me with that person, that I'm able to enjoy the rest of my life with that person. And I need to make sure that I'm healthy and able to live life to its fullest, being fit, being healthy, watching what you eat, what you put in your system, it's just very important. You know, they always say you are what you eat. It's true. And then definitely spiritually. Am I spiritually continuing to connect to God? Because I'm going to tell you something. In order to be that godly wife, I have to be connected to God. I have to continue to build up my spirit man. The flesh is so weak. The flesh will do things for self. And so you want to build yourself up spiritually so that you can be more connected to God and be that godly woman that God is calling you to be, and be that for that mate, that potential mate. And then financially, finances is really one of the number one reasons that a lot of marriages break up. You have to be financially sound. You have to get your house in order. You know, financially, you have to make sure that you are adding value financially to that relationship, that you're coming together financially to build better, and both of you together, you should be adding positive, not negative and taking away. So your finances are extremely important, and how you handle them and your mentality, you know, about finances. You really need to make sure that financially you're like-minded, which if you trust God, God is going to make sure that you have that person and that you're like-minded in more ways than one. So guys, those are the 3 P's of embracing singleness. If you do this, this is going to help you embrace being single, but it's making you a better version of yourself. It's aligning you to make sure that you're becoming a better version of yourself, and that you are becoming more whole, so that when God blesses you with that mate, you're both ready. You're going to be that power godly couple. And I think that's what those of us that want relationships, that's really what we strive for and what we want. So that is all I have for today. Hey guys, next Sunday, I told you guys I am doing a lot of things better, a lot of things differently now, just Tanya Renee. I will be having interviews, going live a lot more with my coffee and connections moment, more of that to come. But next Sunday, you see this? Omar Bogan, Dating with a Destination. I am going to have an up and close interview with Omar Bogan. He is a dating and relationship coach. He's an empowerment speaker. He's an author. When I tell you this book blessed me, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I cannot wait for us to have the conversation and for you to learn more about this awesome author, this awesome dating and relationship coach. So you have to tune in next Sunday. Again, that's Omar Bogan, Dating with the Destination, and he's also actually writing other books. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about the other books that he has coming out. So again, that will be next Sunday. That's all I have. Hey family, friends, have a good evening.